Happy Tuesday, my lovelies, and welcome to a spooky week on the channel. We're kicking it off with a little cheeky speed build. Yes, the spooky week is upon us, and I've decided to take it upon myself to bring out a lot more spooky videos than planned. Spooky videos, some other things, you'll see them all coming up this week to celebrate, obviously, that new expansion pack release. I don't have that expansion pack just yet, but I will do, and expect some videos coming around that expansion. That's all I'm going to say. But first off, what we're doing is kicking it off with a little Victorian graveyard. This is in the world of Windenburg on a 40 by 30 lot. I think it's a 40 by 30. It's the summer home lot. I think it is. I could be wrong. You never know. Knowing me, probably am. But I really wanted to build a graveyard. And I wanted it to be, again, a bit kind of like in kindrence with my speed build from last week. A bit of a hangout spot. So that is what I've made this. You can imagine your goth sims coming here and having a rather spooky time. So I made that apparent in the little video tour that I put together at the end. So yeah, it's a graveyard. Nothing more needs to be said. I did, however, build a few little mausoleums in this graveyard just to make it look extra old and extra spooky. Now, my mods are all still broken at the minute, so I had to do this build without any tool mod, which I really kind of needed. And I also did it without any better build and buy. I installed them wrong and something's gone wrong with them, and I don't know what to do. I cannot like rectify it. I just don't know what to do. So I'm going to wait until the new expansion's out, and then I'm going to try and rectify it a little bit more. So I think most of the builds this week are going to be without tool modding and the tool mod. I don't know what I've done. No idea. I was stupid and I didn't install it properly. That's what I did, but I have no idea how to rectify it, which is very bloody annoying. I put a fountain in this place. We put some actual graveyard areas, tombstones and stuff. What else did we do in here? I also did a little picnic area underneath one of the trees where the goths could come and sit down. Not the goth family. I'm talking about the collection of beautiful goths that I downloaded off the gallery for the video tour. But yeah, I've got lots of goth friends, and I'm the same with them. Like I've spent many an evening and many a day in a graveyard because they're just bloody beautiful. They're beautiful places to be, and I love the aesthetic and the spookiness behind it. But not only the spookiness, it's kind of like I don't know, there's a macabre feeling about a graveyard and being in them, especially at different times of years, different time of year. I don't know, I just love it. I really, really do. So I wanted to build one, and I wanted a little space for your goth sims to be able to come and hang out in, and this is it. This is the Victorian graveyard. Lots of landscaping went into this. I really went to town on the landscaping. It definitely with all the little finer details with this build as well. You'll see that all come into play in just a bit. I'd go and put cracks everywhere. I really wanted to make it look like this graveyard. It was very old, very kind of crumbly and almost forgotten, really, like a forgotten graveyard. And you see a lot of them around. You do. Graveyards with like, well, you do in the UK anyway. I don't know about anywhere else, but graveyards with like heads, like tombstones dating back as like the 1600s. Like, honestly, some of them are so beautiful. And I've spoke about this before. In Devon and Cornwall, there are a lot of graveyards that are kind of left to kind of grow over, and they kind of grow wildflowers and stuff in them to help out with the environment. So they've kind of got another use for them now. I know they're always going to have a use for them because there are people who were once loved buried there. But most of those people are kind of forgotten about now, which is always a weird feeling for me. And I really love that like sentiment of it, like it can be used for something else. So I wanted this one to look a little bit overgrown and somewhere where people can come and hang out and stuff. I really do. Morbidly speaking, that just came into my head. I don't think I'd want to be buried, you know. I don't want to be buried. It's not for me, that. Not for me. I don't know what I would want to happen, actually, after I leave this realm. Probably I would go down the route of cremation, but we're going morbid. It's scary. It's spooky week. We're talking about it. I've heard that it's bad for the environment, cremation. So maybe not that. I've also heard about that horrible one. Was it like the water? It's not cremation, but there's another word for it, where they put you in water and do. I'm not too keen on that either. So I don't know what I would want to happen, to be honest with you. There is one of my favorite podcasts, which is hosted by one of the iconic queens of, well, the world, as far as I'm concerned, Kathy Burke, may I add. If anybody is unsure what Kathy Burke is, you might not be from the UK, but she is a director, she is an actress, and she's just a champion of the working class people, I'm going to say. And I myself am from a working class family. And she's just amazing. She is just amazing. And she has got this podcast called Where There's a Will, There's a Wake. And she gets on all of these comedians and famous people. And they go through their ideal death and funeral. It sounds really weird, but it's such a good podcast. So I would recommend that to anybody out there. If you're looking for a really good podcast hosted by an absolute icon, Where There's a Will, There's a Wake by Kathy Burke. You can find it everywhere. And it's just incredible. It really, really is a great podcast. Especially my favourite one was the one with Dawn Frenchin, who is another comedic icon of the UK and the world, I'm going to say it. So go and give it a listen to, and you'll understand my kind of like thoughts behind it. It's almost not stopped me being, well, it has. It's kind of stopped me feeling afraid of death, really, when you have someone kind of talks very openly about the fact of death. And I just love that. I really, really do. And it kind of helped me in a way. It really did, because I've always had a kind of fear against it, to be honest. Whereas now, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Anyway, look at us go. We're doing all this without tool mod, may I add. Going around putting fences everywhere. Lots and lots of landscaping, as I said. Dry rose bushes, ferns, grassy knolls. The whole shebang. The whole palette of landscaping came into this. And you can see I put like cracks and stains on the floor. I even went through and like put little bits of grass growing out of the cracks, just to make it look like this place was very heavily unused for many years. Even though the cars and stuff are here, I reckon this would be a good spot where people would come and like hang out with their friends in their cars and things, and maybe other things, you know. Woof woof, you get what I mean when I'm saying that. I'm being filth. But that kind of thing. But that kind of thing. I'm only on the car park at the minute. I go ahead and start putting in the mausoleums now. So yes, mausoleums. Were these for the richies? Were these for the Tories of the death world? I've no idea. Mausoleums are not so common around where I live, but I have seen them in different graveyards that I've visited in other places around the UK. One that pops into my head the most is in Edinburgh. I saw a lot of mausoleums in Edinburgh, and also Glasgow as well, actually. I saw quite a few up in Glasgow. But yeah, mausoleums, they do. I don't know how I feel about them, to be honest with you. I don't know how I feel about a mausoleum. Not for me, for starters. It's not something I would ever want. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on mausoleums down in the comment box below? Beautiful things to look at, because they always have these really lovely, ornate, kind of like beautiful over-the-top architecture and stuff on them. But I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if it just feels a little bit self-important, that kind of thing. And that's just not me. That's just not me in my head. So maybe that's why I kind of like don't like the thought of a mausoleum. Because yeah, you know, there we are. That is the reasonings. I tried to make them all look a little bit different to each other as well, a little bit differing in styles here and there. I even made one a little bit bigger and put some stairs and stuff up to it, because I kind of seen in a few reference images that was the case. But I really wanted them to all still look like they were very much overgrown and dilapidated. And I feel like I think the feeling came across, shall we say. Very nice indeed. Very, very nice. I've seen some gorgeous photo shoots with some mausoleums. A lot of my friends are, well, not a lot of my friends, a couple of my friends are photographers, and I've seen some beautiful, respectful shoots being done using mausoleums, and it was part of this campaign for, I don't know what fashion brand it was, but it looked incredible. It looked really did. It was very artistic, very nice, and yeah. I don't know why I went into that spiel, but I did. And yeah, there we are. There There we bloody are indeed. So yes, tomorrow on the channel, we're going to be having a little tiny build coming to the channel, and it's going to be a horror themed tiny build. So be on the lookout for that. And then I'm not going to tell you what's coming up for the rest of the week because I might just leave a few things for surprises. And then I'm going to finish off the week with, no, I'm not. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not telling you. Just going to have to wait. Okay. But you Let's Build the World fans, you might have to wait a little bit longer. Let me just say that. So yeah, anyway. So more mausoleums coming. We were doing the big chunky one. I was differing around the palettes as well because I was noticing that there were different stones and stuff being used on the mausoleum kind of reference images that I was looking at. And yeah, I just played around with them. I don't think I show you how I do the last one because it was just very similar to the first one, if not the exact same, to be honest. Because I kind of run out of ideas by here. I was just like, well, how different can we make these look, but still make them look like they're kind of married together? Yeah, it was a little bit difficult when I got to the end one. And I was just like, we're just going to leave that and go for the first one that we did. And then it won't look so copy. And then I just put a big bit of ivy over it just to make it look like it was kind of married in. I've not used these pillars before either. I'm using them now. I don't know where they're from. Maybe the Horse Ranch pack? I don't know. But they kind of came into play and worked really well with this specific mausoleum, especially when I put in the trim as well. It kind of all came together really nicely, I thought. Like here, I was just like, oh, that looks good. I like that, with a little placard at the top. And then I put in these iron bars. And I didn't have the Better Build and Buy mod installed, so I was having to go and search for everything manually. And I cannot believe that is how I used to build. I really can't. I need my mod sloves and I can't bloody use them at the minute. It's very annoying. It really is. But yes, fountain. Really wanted a fountain in here. And I love this fountain because there's just lots to do with this fountain. You can get in the water and you can sit around the edge to it as well. It's just a really nice bit of gameplay, especially in park lots and stuff like that. And even more so in places where I am now, like the graveyard area. It's just a nice focal point in the middle. And I thought it looked lovely. And it was nice to have all of the kind of Sims hanging around it in the video tour. You can notice someone famous in the video tour as well. They do come into play as a ghost because they were annoying me so much in one of my other video tours because they kept standing outside glowing and dancing and getting people to try and take photos of them and stuff, that I killed them with the MC Command Center. And then she's come to haunt my graveyard, and I just thought that's quite fitting, actually. So keep your eyes peeled as to who it might be. I pulled in some trees as well. I didn't want to go down the route of making every tree look like it was dead and scary and spooky. I still wanted it to have a spooky vibe, but I still pulled in a few bits of green here and there. And then I, in the video tour anyway, I made sure that the season was autumn. It was being filmed in, just so it looked rather nice, to be honest. And then I wrapped this pathway all the way around. We end up putting benches and stuff down outside the mausoleum, and we put a few benches around the fountain and stuff as well. Just all in all, a very nice lot to come and hang around in, especially at this very spooky time of year. So yeah, very excited for this new expansion. As always with a new expansion, I'm kind of apprehensive about it because I always tend to get a little bit disappointed with the gameplay. But I'm with the trailer for this one, and the fact that there's things to do, and the fact that the world looks really interesting as well. Like I've got my hopes up for this expansion. I really have. So I'm hoping the gameplay is going to come through for me and keep me excited. So let me know what you guys think down below. And don't forget, if you do go buy that expansion, you can use my creator code Bumpkin at checkout. And what it does is just directly supports me and allows me to continue what I'm doing for a living. And I bloody love doing this for a living. So please use it. No, I'm joking. Just do whatever you like, loves. Do whatever you like. But if you do want to use it, it's there for you. Going around these mausoleums, I ended up putting some ivy and stuff on the back of these mausoleums just so it blends it into the lot itself. But I don't think I did that on camera. And I also put in a bush as well for your Sims to go and have a wee on this lot as well. That was right at the edge by the other mausoleum. Not very respectful if you are going and pissing in a graveyard somewhere. But this is The Sims 4, so we're just going to let it be, to be honest with you. And this is me, like, I had to get every little bit of landscaping from the live edit out because I can't copy it. I cannot eyedrop the debug stuff because I don't have that mod. So it was a little bit difficult, very difficult. But while I was building this, it took me I think it took me about six hours, I think. I managed to watch 2 episodes of The Natural Six, which is a D&D campaign on YouTube, with some amazing cast members. One of them being Doug Cockle, who does the voice to Geralt of Geralt of Rivia from the Witcher 3 game. His amazing voice. And yeah, he's one of the cast members, as is the lovely Holly Bennett from Frontier and PlayStation Access. Ben Starr, who is an absolute gorgeous specimen of a man, and he did the voice of Clive. I forgot what his name is, from one of the Final Fantasy games. So it's just a really good cast. I would definitely recommend it to any of you D&D fans. I've been wanting to get into it for ages, but I didn't want to confuse myself with watching so many different people play D&D. But yeah, I decided to start watching it, and I'm absolutely enjoying myself. So there we go. That's what I was doing when I was building this, listening to all of that, going around and putting in more details. You can see I put in lots of landscaping and kind of grass and stuff growing through all of the pavements and things. So I was just making that apparent by going underneath with lots of terrain paints. I was so scared that the terrain paints were going to disappear on this lot, because I did go to town with the terrain paints on this lot. So I kept saving this to my gallery just to make sure that the terrain paints will stay. But they will stay for you if you do download this into your game. It will be there for you, my loves. I will get this up on the gallery this week, I don't even think I put the abandoned church up. I could be wrong, maybe I didn't. I'll make sure to get that up as well, so your Sims can have a lovely Halloween. But just nice spaces for this spooky week coming ahead. What is everybody doing for Halloween? I am going on a ghost story tour up in Dartington, which is in Devon, and is this really old house. And it's like this ghost guided tour around the house and stuff. I'm going there with my best friend, so I'm very much looking forward to it. It's going to be a spooky moment. I haven't even started watching any spooky films yet, so I think I'm going to definitely be doing that at some point this week. May even start that tonight, actually. That could be a good idea. But yeah, let me know what you're doing down in the comments below. As always, I love hearing from you. I really do. So this area here is where I wanted kind of 2 areas where I was going to be putting in a graveyard area. Ignore what I'm doing there at the minute. I don't know why I started doing that there. And I'm using these gravestones. I didn't even know these gravestones were in the game. I cannot remember what pack they're from. I think they're from Cottage Living. I could be wrong. But I was like, my God, where the hell did these come from? I've not seen them. They're not under gravestone markers or anything. So I ended up using a few of these instead, rather than the other ones that I was using. And yeah, I put them in here. Once you get the new expansion, you might even be able to utilize this and have your Sims get buried here, you know? I might even be doing a cheeky build or something with maybe I've built a church recently, but I don't know, maybe I could modify it or something. No idea what I'm going to do with a new expansion build just yet. But I'm very excited to see this new world, because I think it was very much inspired by Transylvania. So I could be wrong in that, but I'm sure it was. I'm sure that's what I read somewhere. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Looking forward to seeing the whole new world. I really am. I hope it's a good one. I hope there's lots of things to do, because I don't know. I just found quite a few of the last worlds quite lackluster, to be honest with you. I would like to see some Windenburg kind of energy put into these worlds, to be honest. I don't know about you lot, but that is what I would want. I don't know if you can hear, but that is Daisy scratching around by me. But yeah, 5 gravestones on each side, and I put the wrought iron bars around them because this is supposed to be a Victorian graveyard, and they were very much apparent in Victorian graveyards themselves, even with the bars over the top. I would have loved to have done that, and if I had the tool mod or was able to use the tool mod for this build, I would have done that, but I couldn't. And that was to stop grave robbers from coming and nicking the corpses out of the ground, which is just absolutely crazy when you think about that, really. That is nuts, isn't it, to be honest? And I bet you any money that still bloody happens to this day. Because why? Because people are weird. Thank you. But yeah, these really haven't got any kind of gameplay aspect to it. And that is where my thoughts were like, maybe under the tree would be the best place to have a really lovely goth romantic picnic area. So that is where I put in a picnic area. So at least there is a few things to do on this lot as well, for your Sims to be able to come and enjoy themselves. And that is what we get up to next. End up using this landscaping all the way around as well. And I even decorated the other gravestone part as well off of camera, just because it was exactly the same. I just differed up the landscaping a little bit. But this is where the little romantic picnic area was, and it's just a nice look. It's a nice vibe, and I loved it. I really loved building this lot. I really bloody did. Using the picnic blanket from the Love Struck pack as well. We put it right under the tree, put a little picnic basket up there too. I mean, I didn't really need to do that because you're meant to bring your own, and you can even have a picnic without a picnic basket with these, but I just wanted to, just add them in with some romantic candles going around too. But that's it, my darlings. Thank you so much. I hope you have the most spookiest week possible. And I'll be back tomorrow with a little spooky tiny build. Goodbye.